If your vacuum's not working, then this video could be for you. So hopefully it helps. I've got a Miele Blizzard CX1 power line, so this will definitely help. Being a Sparky, an electrician, it's easy for me to narrow down. The problem is the cable. It is technically something that anyone who has the balls to try and just figure it out and just go for it, anyone can do it really. You need a few tools. This will help because it can tell you whether this is the actual fault. So this is a volt stick. You can get this from a Bunnings or another, any other hardware store or an electrical wholesaler. You plug in your cable into the power point, okay? You obviously turn the switch on. And if you turn the switch, there should be power going through, electricity going through the cable. I'll show here, this cable, it's already, so you can hear that. It usually lights up as well. This is an old one, so the light's not really working properly. If it's powered up, then that's what you would hear. Okay, if I turn it off, yeah, you won't hear that. You hear it this one, but you won't hear it this one. It's not electrical advice, obviously, but these are simple little hacks. So that will tell you that there's juice going through this. And when I say juice, for those, it's not juice, it's electricity. So just in case you look for juice, I've pulled this off the cover. That was a bit of a schmozzle. I'll show you what the problem is, okay? So basically, I'm telling you as I unwind it, is that the cable is broken. If the brown or the blue cable was broke, then more than likely it's not going to work. An electrician should do this, or someone qualified, an electrical technician of some sort, okay? But if you're handy, at your own will, go ahead and do it. Fix it up. The other tool you're going to need is an Allen key. This is a star type. I don't know if that's the correct terms, but most people know this as an Allen key, okay? Hex key is the most common. This is a star type. Now, if you can get your hands on a much longer version of this Allen key, that will be much better. As you can see, it's tight, twisting like this. It's a bit difficult. Obviously, I'm doing it one-handed right now, but still difficult because it keeps hitting the edges. Okay, so if you can get the longer ones, longer version, I think most of them come individual. But anyways, do that and you'll have less problems and be able to do this faster. In terms of the size that I can see here, it's for this brand, the Trojan Torx T20. So it's CRV T20. I need to take this out where the cord goes, and but this big white piece here is all one piece. There's a few screws. I took that one out. There's a screw here. Okay, there's a few of these screws. That one there is a bit tough to get to, but that one there needs to come out. I haven't done this one before, but what I'm trying to do is just pull this whole white piece off. I can see here this kind of can come off, but if I can remove this, then I can take that out. But I think just this whole thing needs to come out. I've unscrewed them. Yeah, I've just got to pull it off. Okay, it looks like that screw there. If I don't unscrew that, this piece actually goes with it. So these two parts move together. Okay, it looks like these two parts kind of should go together because it's got this cable going from here to there. Probably best to move it together. This screw has to come off anyways, so we can actually pull apart. So we're going to pull these two together, okay? I'll see what it looks like. Okay, so there's the two parts that came out. This was here somewhere, and yeah, so there's this kind of rubbery parts that need to go in the right place. Okay, so we'll fix that up later. A little bit of dust, can probably get none of this dust cleaned up as well. Need to vacuum the vacuum. Good one. Now that we have this open, we're just going to pull this cable so that we've got length. Yeah. What we're going to do is loosen up these two screws. So I noticed that these two screws are different size to the other screws. The other screws are that 20, and that one is a T10. If you do have an option just to get these two, and it's cheaper for you to get as opposed to getting this the full Allen key, then yeah, go ahead. Okay, so screws are off, and I just done it just then, but just so you know, you can with both hands you just pull this back and it just unclipped. Now maybe it was just due to this causing it to already pull apart, but you can just see that there's got clips here. These clips just clip onto some part here. So just unclip them. As you can see here, this cable was supposed to, I'm sure it's supposed to go through there. Yeah, but it was squeezing through the gap between this and that part, and it was just obviously got caught in between, and yeah, it wasn't in the right place, and slowly cutting it. That's my diagnosis. It's cut, it needs to be replaced. How do we do that? We cut it from here and then just redo what is over here. Okay, so we just unravel that. So there's no earth cable here because everything's plastic. You loosen up the blue, loosen up the red or the brown. Just remember what they are, okay? If you have to, take a video, take a photo, whatever, so you know which one's which. But I can also see that there's an N right next to that. An N there, and N is neutral, so it's the blue, okay? So I'll know that anyways. So, and I can see the L just over here, which tells me it's the line. So I've separated that cable by just cutting it there with some pliers, and I'm just, this end of here, I'm going to redo exactly what's here. So the same length, I'm going to just copy that, and then I'll fit them off with these lugs, okay? There you go, stripped it off. You can either use your Stanley or your pliers. I use my pliers just to finish that off. When you know how to do it, you know how to do it. Okay, you strip the cable like so. Okay, and then wanted to twist them, and then I'll shorten them as well, so I'll cut them shorter. I found one of my old boxes here. So once you buy one of these for random jobs, you'll have them hanging around for a while. So that was the nature of having this. I hardly used it, but it came in handy. So I think it cost like 10-15 bucks or something. It's not expensive at all. Hopefully I've got the correct one here, because I may not, and I might need to just go buy a little packet of the correct size. All right, so to replace this, I had to buy these new lugs here, okay? They were only about $2.75 from Jaycar, so one of your electronic stores, but you can get them from Bunnings and whatever. Okay, it doesn't cost too much, okay? Some people haven't learnt this little hack, but to crimp these lugs, yeah, like so, you can actually use this part here to crimp the lug. So you twist the cable like so. You twist the cable inside the red side here. You can see it just protruding out, the copper part of the copper cable, okay? And you're going to use the crimpers to crimp the red part. Trying to capture myself doing it, so here we go. Just put insert like so and just squeeze. Okay, hard to capture. Okay, so just squeeze that as hard as you can. It doesn't take too much, right? And it's as long as it's secure, it's not going to slip off. You know, the lug's not going to slip off the cable, then you're all good. All right, but make sure it's tight. Okay, so both lugs are on. Now we're going to fit these back on. Remember, the bottom one here has the N. That's the neutral. I'm just going to insert that. Hopefully it's the right size. It is the right size, but for some reason it's not as tight as the other. Maybe we need to manipulate a little bit. It's not as tight, but it's the right size. The other one is too small. This is the correct size. I'm going to just squeeze this a little bit so that it's much tighter, okay, with my pliers. Okay, so that's all done. Just a quick one with these lugs. So I guess different materials will come different, slightly different sizes. So you may not, you know, the one you buy may be too large or slightly too small or whatever. These ones were slightly too big. What I needed to do is get my pliers and just crimp the actual lug this way, okay? So squeeze it just a little bit. All right, so it's good that you got a little packet with a few. I think the packet I got had 8. So yeah, you might need to try a few times. I had to cut both of them because they just, I crimped them too much, and then yeah, had to redo it. And this one was done properly, done well. Also, another thing is, you know, you might have a little bit of copper coming out as well. You don't want that as well, okay? You want your insulation to be, you know, right in there, okay? And your copper to be right in there, not exposed. So Try not to have any copper showing. All this will be plastic anyway, so it'll be enclosed in here. But obviously for good practice, you don't want any copper showing, okay? Alrighty, so that's in there. We're gonna pretty much reverse engineer exactly what we had. Okay, so I've just wrapped it like so. From here, went around and then come through this end, and then I'm going to place this one here. You got the 2 screw thingamajiggies there. Okay, and I'm gonna align them this way. So I don't know which way is the correct way, so I'll figure it out, but I'll just try this side for now. It might go the other way. See what it looks like that way. Okay. So I think that might be right, but yeah, we should make sure when we fit this on that the cable comes through nicely and all these are all aligned. So the cable is coming through like so. It's not getting caught in between the 2 parts, okay? So that's good, and make sure that they click. So this part is clicking, this part of it here is clicking into here, or vice versa, sorry. So yeah, this part here is clicking into this part here. Anyways, it'll make sense when you're doing it yourself as well, once you're at this point. So I need to put these 2 screws on, and if I remember correctly, it's the shorter screws. Alright, hopefully I'm correct, but yeah, so you got all the screws here. There's 2 shorter ones, and I'm pretty sure they are the 2 short screws, okay? Put them on, then I'll place this, these 2 parts onto the enclosure. Alright, those 2 screws I'll put back on. So I'm gonna grab these 2 parts and place them where they were originally. Alright, you have to move these 2 together because they're connected obviously through that cable. Place this roll first on this base here, okay? And obviously make sure this aligns here, and that screw hole plastic piece as well is aligned, and this is aligned. Make sure that's all, you know, in the right spot. Your cable's in there, you know, and that this part here goes exactly where it's supposed to go, which is that little groove cut out that you cut out, okay? And that obviously it's not going to go fully down until I push this into the correct spot. So this part here goes back to there, and all the other parts will line up. Okay, so that's placed in there as well. It's on the right spot. So what I'll do now is just pull the cable and just test it out. Make sure this is all loosened up. Okay, so it's ready to go. The cable is ready to be wound, whatever you want to say. Okay, I think we just press this here, all up. There we go. Good sign. Pull it back a little bit, and then again, there we go. So it works properly. I haven't secured it with the screws yet, so I'm going to do that because it looks like it's going to work well. What would be faster is if you didn't, instead of using the Allen key, if you had a impact driver with the correct size, and yeah, you can get these done much faster, especially if the bit was, you know, the tech bit was a long piece. Yeah, you'll get this done much faster, but that's okay. We're just doing exactly what we done with the tools that we have. As long as it works, it's all good. Just a suggestion, before you put these screws on, maybe just before you even push this big white piece down, place the middle screw, at least here, on, because it's a bit difficult to, unless you have tiny hands, then it's a bit hard to place the screw, hold the screw and put it in there. If your tool is magnetic, it will work, but this is not really a magnetic piece. So I did have a little hack, I guess. I did have, you know, this is magnetic, so it was able to hold it, and I was able to use this flathead screwdriver here just to place it in, put it in place, and then now I can actually tighten it. And again, this is the challenge of using these tools. They're not the best tool for it, but it will work. It will just take longer. If you have the right tools, you can get the job done properly and faster. Okay, so that's all done. I want to place this grey cover on, which is the main top cover, and then You see the holes here. So you got one hole here for the screws and one there. And that's gonna, these two big holes here will expose those two screw holes. All right, so I'm just gonna push that down, okay, and into place. Okay, so just push them into place, and then, all right. So now I can prepare the next piece, which is this one here. Just place all the screws in there. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws before you put it on, okay? Just makes it a bit easier. Now you won't make this mistake, but see what I have to do now is remove these screws again, remove this part so I can pull this up, because this part here has to go under. So this part here has to be lifted up and placed on top of or something similar to that. But right at this point in time, it's not this this part's not going down correctly, and I believe that that's what it is. This is supposed to sit on top, okay, rather than two of these holes here, two of these circle parts. All right, we'll take this out and sort it out properly. Okay, I was correct. As you can see, this part has to sit on top of there as it goes down, as you put this into place. If you did what I done, which you won't because you're watching this video, I only took this screw off and loosened that screw, so I was able to still move this a little bit, enough just to get it over. Okay, so that's that part fixed. I'm gonna put these screws back, and we should be good to put that the other two parts back on. All right, let's now place this part back. All of these 4 screws now should align perfectly. If I just push that down, yep, so that goes pretty good now. All right, yep, that's now going down much lower. So if I put the screws on, it should tighten it properly. Okay, so that's all on now, all the 4 screws. What you want to do as well is just double check that it's working as you work through it. You just want to make sure. Yep, so that works really well. All right, now is to put the other pieces on here, or the buttons and whatnot. All right, so pretty much reverse engineering what we've done before. This goes in the middle. I'll need 2 hands for this, but just to explain it, if I didn't already, where's the other button? There's one here. I'm seeing one. Hopefully, the kids. No, all good. Oh no, yep, all good. So this piece goes in here. What is it, this way here? So that clicks in. It pretty much just goes in there like that, and yeah, you just kind of like, you can use a tool like your flatty just to push that in, but you should be able to just click it in, something like so. Okay, but this side's going to bend now, so have a bit of resistance, but yeah, should be all good. Getting this in. So yeah, these 2 parts sits in that middle there. Yep, cool. So them 2 are on. We're nearly there. This cover should just click on somehow. So this one's here, and that's there. You got the, right, so you got the 4 on the side. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. I broke one of the other ones. So you guys are lucky because you're not going to break it, are you? So yeah, just pretty much as you take, if you use your tool, next time I'll do it. I'll use the tool, just be more careful and know that there's 2. Now I know there's 2, all right? And then just remember the one in the middle, that has to go there. But yeah, so maybe what we'll do is we'll push this one side in, put that, make sure that middle is aligned as well. And yeah, just like that, nice and easy. Click it in, much easier putting that back in than it was taking it out. Yeah, I butchered it, as you can see. I butchered it a few screw, put my flathead screwdriver there. Just butchered it, a bit more there. So yep, yeah, so that's pretty much done. Oh, okay, nope, it's not working as it should. Basically the button's not going now correctly, so we're going to take that out. The button was working, we just got to figure out what's happening there. Yeah, so it works. We just haven't got something lined up. Maybe that wasn't lined up properly. Okay, so we found the problem. Just one of the screws, the screw that's actually underneath this cover here. So the equivalent of this screw here. Okay, that screw was not tight enough. So I thought it was already tight, but it wasn't. So I had to just tighten a bit more. And so maybe the actual button part that protrudes out of the bottom of this wasn't actually hitting the button. So now we know, and it works. So yep, that's all good. So the way this went in is nice and simple. The silver part goes on the inside of that little lip. Okay. Yeah, and you just pretty much place these two grooves in there. Alright. So yeah, just in there like that. Yeah, just click it and it should work. So that should be good. As long as those two screws are tight, then both these buttons should be working. So we know this one does, and I tightened the other one as well. So that should be good. Alrighty, so we'll put the other two parts in. So this part here is the next one. This is nice and simple. This goes like that. Yep. Goes in like that, and then it just locks in. So that's locked in now. Nice and easy. Alright, and so this part is, this is actually two parts or three parts, but it's together, and you should be able to figure that out really. That's like that, it comes off, and that's how you empty it. That's there, and this latches on, so it locks in like that. So this just goes in, so lift that up, place it from the top. That's it, and then that's locked. That's locked. I think this cover's not on properly, but it's not. It's the least of my worries, because I'll probably just click this all in later. What I want to get to is just make sure that it works. Try to get that in there. Got that in. Okay, yeah, so that's all good. Make sure this dial works. Right, let's get that connected and see if it works. Hey, she works now, and that's it. That's how you fix your vacuum if it's not working. All vacuums would have the same, can use the same principles. This one's a Miele Lizard CX1, but yeah, if you have a different model, different brand, yeah, I'm sure the same principles will apply. So you can just follow suit and just work around your vacuum that you have. Just don't forget these two screws here. You will know because you've got two screws left. So yeah, one there, the last two before you put the other parts on. Okay. That was a bit of a schmozzle.